Things I wish I knew before joining college. This video is primarily for students who are in their high school right now. Going through college is a big deal for everybody, and I wish I knew these 8 things before I entered college. This applies to all colleges, all streams, and all academic backgrounds. I'm a 2022 BITS graduate with 2 years of work experience. So when I say I wish I knew these, I think you should know too. Number one is academic expectations. In school, you usually sit in the class for 7 to 8 hours, 6 days a week. That would make 42 to 48 hours a week. We all know how much study happens in that. Considering you do study, you studied 50 hours a week. Here in college, especially good colleges like IITs, BITS, IIMs and all, you spend 20 to 25 hours max in classrooms. There's a huge gap between classroom and the amount of study you need to do to actually understand the subject. You actually need up to 100 hours a week to justify what you have learned, that 20 hours of lessons taught in class. The workload in colleges is immense and you will be bombarded with assignments left, right, center. And the big thing is you don't get to go for outside tutoring. You have to primarily depend on what your professors teach. YouTube is a great help. Other websites like edX, Coursera, Khan Academy can help, but they are paid. So you'll primarily depend on your professors and your library to get most of your academic input. There are plenty of resources the professor can give you for free if you ask them. Number two is campus life. If you are living on campus, like I did, in a hostel, you will have to adjust with other people. First time hostelers face the music. It's a difficult transition, of course. For somebody who has no siblings, who has never shared a room with in my whole life, there's another person in my room. It was a big deal for me. The great thing was you can stay outside of your room the whole day and spend time with your friends. Most campuses have great sporting facilities. It was the first time I was exposed to sports like squash, tennis, billiards, snooker, and even basketball to a large extent. Our school primarily focused on cricket like every other school. We did have a basketball court, but we didn't have balls or baskets in. Luckily, some campuses don't have a strict curfew in the night. We called it in time. It was 2 a.m. Some campuses don't have them. Some campuses might be early. So that's something you might want to know beforehand. Number three is financial consideration. I did a dedicated video on the real cost of attending a college. I will link it up here as well as in the description below. Do check it out after this video. Apart from that, food on campus might be costlier than outside. It is subjective. Sometimes it's subsidized also. But being surrounded by friends, you are more likely to spend out of peer pressure than you normally would if you are alone. That takes a high toll on your pocket. So you might have to consider a higher pocket money. Number four is location and transportation. Usually, large colleges are situated way outside the city, in the suburbs or outskirts. Getting to and from college becomes a hassle. For us in BITS, the nearest big bus stop was 4 kilometers away. The only way to get from our college to the bus stop was either hire an auto where the prices were exorbitant or wait for an hourly bus which was usually 2 hours late. Bus 212 is forever etched in my mind. That number gives me trauma. And that lack of transportation resulted in us getting a lot less deliveries in campus. It usually used to take 2 days more than normal for Amazon, Flipkart or even Big Basket to deliver stuff on campus. Getting a cab from campus is expensive, and most of the times none of the cab drivers wanted to come that far to drop us or even pick us up, because going back without a ride will cost them a lot. Apparently many colleges allowed own transportation, ours did not. We weren't allowed to have our own bikes, which was the cause of all these problems. So leaving campus unplanned without a group of friends, hiring a cab is expensive. Even getting to the city used to cost us between 300 to 400 rupees one side. The other advantage of the location was it was usually 3 to 5 degrees colder on campus than it was in city. Because we were surrounded by practically nothing, the location gave us excellent night views. our skies, when they were clear, were studded with stars which were not visible in the city. The city had too much light pollution and actual pollution. The campus was serene, the air was fresh, and the nights were clear. There are plenty of photos I have taken which I have posted on Instagram. To check it out. Number 5 is student culture. Student culture and politics is something which is very prevalent in many college campuses, but it was not that prevalent in BITS. So my experience with that is kind of limited. People are way too busy doing very important stuff. I would say some of you might experience college in a completely different way than I did, because my college was largely apolitical, and whenever it was political, it was right wing. Some colleges are famously left wing, like JNU, Ashoka University. You might want to know before getting there, because they might negatively affect your beliefs. Just saying. Number 6 is career services. It is just as important for a college to get you a good job as it is to teach you your subject. You might have seen plenty of billboards saying 100+ placements for some colleges. You all know how many terms and conditions that apply for the select few of people to get placed. Those people are good enough to be placed even without the help of college sometimes. You must know how much effort your college's placement division puts into bringing good companies for campus interviews. How many internship opportunities do these colleges enable? For example, BITS has PS1, PS2 system where you are required by your curriculum to get into the industry and work for. PS1 is for 2 months and PS2 is for 6 months, which is 1 semester, to get work experience. We did 2 internships in the industry before even sitting for interviews. Our college went overboard and helped us get ready for interviews, like selecting which shirt to wear and which coat to wear and which tie to wear. That was a bit overboard, but many colleges don't even provide these basic stuff. Know what your college provides. I have seen plenty of people struggling to get into internships because the college doesn't support them enough. That's something you have to think about. Number 7 is health and wellness. Does your college have a doctor on duty always? As a student, we don't really consider doctor as a priority, but 3,000 students in a compact area, injuries pile up very fast. When you're so far away from the city, kids being kids, you break bones, concussions, gross injuries pile up very fast. We had a good clinic on campus with 2 doctors always on duty, 1 male and 1 female, which greatly helped us have a peace of mind. Even if we rough it out on the football field, it's okay. If we tear something, there is immediate medical help. If needed, we had an ambulance also on campus where if we can be transported to the nearest hospital in the city. I think most colleges have a doctor on campus, but you have to make sure of it. Another thing you might need to consider is support in mental health. How is your college helping you get better if you have problems here? In my experience, usually a counselor used to visit once or twice a month, where we could take prior appointments to talk to them one-to-one, and they can guide us however they can. It was not a complete therapy session. It worked when I needed it. So, does your college provide this? Ask them. Number 8 is administrative support. The most overlooked part of this whole list is administrative support. Dealing with admin is almost always a negative experience for almost everybody. I don't know why, it is a common experience for everybody everywhere. So, in the shades of grey, where does your college's admin support lie? How black is it? They kind of run on their own power trip. Ours were very helpful for the most part, but they can become problematic very fast. That's also something you need to consider. These are 8 tips till now. There are 8 more tips I want to share, which I will make another video. You can follow me on Instagram at Achyut Madhira. If you have anything you have to share, comment down below. This is the part 1 of the video. I'll make the part 2 very soon. Chalo, goodbye.